The starting point in human design is your energy type. We're actually all built to function very differently, with different skills and different ways that our energy works. So we need to align with that rather than do things the way that the world tells us we need to do things. When we do, we create success and happiness with so much more ease. And it's more enjoyable because it's the way our souls actually crave doing life. Your energy type tells you how you're built to operate, and it's arguably the most important aspect of your design. Your energy type is what we call a manifesting generator. Let's get into what that means. Manifesting generators are multi-passionate people. You have various passions and are meant to do many varied things in one lifetime. However, we live in a world that tells you that in order to be happy or successful, you have to choose one lane and stay within it, which is just not true for you. Everything that sparks a passion inside you is trying to get you to follow it. And if you do, it leads you right to everything you desire. Your challenge is to defy what society tells us about how to become happy and successful and show us a new way of doing it. And MG's gift to the world is to break us out of the boxes we live our lives in and expand our perspective on what's possible. You're here to chart a previously unseen life path. MGs aren't the kind of people who decide they want to be accountants at age 18 and then do it for the rest of their lives. Life, or the universe, will push an MG to explore in many different directions because it wants you to create your own unique blend of passions and turn it into a totally new life path that hasn't been seen or done yet. So this could mean you either switch to a totally new career at least one point in your life, you have many different passions and side hustles going at a time, or that you fuse seemingly unrelated things into one career. Just because no one's done it before doesn't mean you can't create it, and in fact it's probably why you have to do it. MGs are quick to master new things. When first exploring a passion, you get this surge of mastery so that you can quickly pick up a skill or lesson that will serve you further down the line. For this reason, it's not necessary for you to finish what you started or to see something through to the end always. Even if you don't know how that lesson or skill will come in handy, trust that it will make sense later. You've been conditioned to put yourself in a box so that the world can understand you and know where you're headed, which makes everyone more comfortable. But your challenge is to defy the pressure to be able to explain where you're going and be okay with the not knowing. When you do this, it blows open the possibilities of what the universe can then send you. Turn the sense of unknown into a sense of wonder and discovery. Your path is not linear, so it can't be understood before it unfolds. Whenever you feel hesitant or afraid of this unknown, realize that this afraidness only comes because you were conditioned to think that the known is better, safer, or more of a sure thing. But the real sure thing is that you'll always know how to get the most fulfilling result when you choose your inside passion over the limited how-tos from the outside world. It's like the universe implanted your own how-to inside you. On a soul level, you actually love the unknown because that's what makes life feel like an adventure that surprises and delights you as you live it. Think about it. Why would you come here if you already knew exactly how everything was going to pan out? And when you start to love that way of doing life yourself, you show everyone else that this is the way that we're all craving to live life. You just have to be stronger than any of us are willing to be, and stronger than the voices that try to keep you in the old way. You're here to have more faith in what could be than in what already is. As an MG, your energy is spontaneous and in the moment. It can be difficult to decide what will excite you in the future since you're so multi-directional. You can only really tell what's exciting to you today, which may well change, so try not to say yes to too many things in your future. This can be difficult as we live in a world that values making plans, commitments, sticking to things, and knowing what you want. But that's just not the way you're built to do things. Do things you actually want to do. Your passion and desires are signposts showing you what the universe wants you to put your energy and attention into. Your wants are not random, and following them is the highest service you can do in the world. When you do something that excites you, big or small, you get given more energy so you can keep doing that thing. That's the universe's way of saying it wants you to carry on doing that thing. You can probably think of a time in your life when you were doing something you loved so much it gave you an influx of energy that just carried you effortlessly. But when you're doing something that doesn't excite you, you feel flat and uninspired. That's life's way of telling you that you're not meant to be doing that thing. Use your engine on the right things. You're hyper capable. It's just the way you were built so you could live out this multi-passionate life. But just because you can do everything, it doesn't mean that you should do everything, especially not doing everything for everyone else. You're meant to fill your plate up with things you enjoy and not just anything at all. It's actually better to say no to some things and temporarily have less going on, because that will leave room for more of the things you do want to come in. There's a huge difference between having a full plate of things that feed you and filling your plate just for the sake of it. So, manifesting generator, give yourself the permission to have the most unrealistically good, full life, because that's what you came here to show us. Gut intuition. The gut is about desire. It knows when it wants something and it knows when it doesn't. It's not based in logic and it can't be explained. When life sends you something it wants you to do, you'll feel a rush of excitement through your whole body. This is your cue to say yes to it and to pursue it. These visceral, physical pulls you feel towards things are the universe's way of showing you that those things are the right decision. Now, the gut is black and white. It doesn't know maybe. So you'll either feel, yes, I want it, or if you're not meant to do it, you can feel anything from strongly repelled to just meh. If something lights you up when you first come across it, that's your way of knowing you're meant to be doing it. You will literally feel your body respond to something before you've processed it mentally. You'll feel your body get revved up, or you may perk up, make involuntary sounds that express interest and excitement, or just feel that feeling of wanting that thing. Trust your wants. Society has told us that it's bad to want things, to desire things. We've been told it's better to go for things that make logical sense, rather than just because we want them. But for you, the wanting is your sacred sign that will never lead you the wrong way. Learning to trust your physical attraction to something or your repulsion to it will eliminate so much confusion and light the path ahead of you with so much clarity and simplicity. Making decisions easier. Since the gut speaks the language of yes and no, black and white, it's so challenging for your gut to give you answers to big open-ended questions like, what's my purpose? Or even, where do I want to go for dinner? It needs options to be put in front of it that it can then react to. So try asking things like, does a career in fitness sound good to me, yes or no? Or would I prefer sushi or Thai tonight? If someone is asking you an open-ended question, you can always run through the options in your head, asking yourself these yes or no questions. Or have the people close to you ask the questions differently to ensure smoother communication between you. When you can't tell what your gut's saying. If you're ever feeling hesitant or mixed, it's either because A, your gut has spoken, but for some reason you're not comfortable with that response. This is when your gut directly opposes your conditioning and they're at odds. In this situation, you don't always have to act on your gut, at least not in the beginning, but just acknowledge what the gut is saying. When you pay attention to what it was saying, in hindsight, you'll start to see that it was right, which will make it easier to eventually follow the gut. You'll build up a bank of evidence to show you that the gut was better than the oh buts and the what ifs. It's like you turn the volume up on your gut and down on your conditioning and fears bit by bit so that following your gut becomes your new default pattern. Or B, you're overriding what the gut is telling you by thinking about it in your mind. Sometimes you can't feel your physical wants because logic has been so drummed into us that it's the voice we hear the loudest. We've been taught the mind should be in charge of all our life decisions, but the mind can only conceive of what it already knows. Whereas the body is leading you towards possibilities that you might not even be able to fathom, but that are so much more fulfilling and aligned. Trust that the only way you can create a life on joy is by following your joy on the way there. In order to make the right decisions, you don't need to know why you gravitate towards certain things and not to others. You just need to experiment with following that more, even when you have no idea how it gets you closer to your dream life. The more you practice it, the more you'll see the tangible results in your own life, and then it becomes easier and easier to follow that gut over time. Your personality is the establisher of knowledge and truth, also known as a 1-3. The first number describes the way you see yourself, and the second number is the way others see you. It actually serves us to have our own internal world that's not so obvious to others, and an external side of us for the physical world. Let's get into each one and how they come together to form your full personality. 1 is the knowledge seeker. On the inside, you see yourself as an investigator. You seek out facts and information because understanding things, knowing about things, and being armed with the facts is what makes you feel safe. You feel most confident when you feel well prepared. You're someone who finds yourself going down rabbit holes to find information, which may express itself as loving higher education or just Googling everything or anything in between. The way it expresses itself is unique to you, but just know that the drive to know things is an essential part of you establishing yourself as an authority in this life. The universe is making you thirsty for information because it's part of your purpose. Others may misunderstand this need to know as nosy or a know-it-all, but that's because to them it would take a lot of inauthentic effort to be that curious. They can't see how it's such a natural draw for you that doesn't require much energy or force at all. To you, this is how you develop your genius, by exploring and dipping your toes into subjects that fascinate you. Don't judge what the subjects are that draw you to them. They're not always related to the work you do, but they'll somehow always help you down the line, even if it's not just to relay the information, but to expand understanding, make you more empathetic, or give you a transferable skill. There are many ways it could serve you. It's not necessarily about knowledge for knowledge's sake, but that information can be turned into so many other gifts. 3 is the experimenter. On the outside, others see you as an experimenter. Your journey is about testing things out in your life, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, and getting wisdom from the outcome. The main block to truly embracing this is that our culture believes that when things don't work out, it's bad. So your natural trial and error process can feel like failing. But for an experimenter like you, every outcome contains wisdom that helps you get to your next level, if you're willing to see it that way. It's imperative for you to try everything out to see if it passes your standards or not. You're here to be unafraid to fail, because failure is just a stepping stone to success. The quicker you embrace that some things might not work out, the faster you'll get to succeeding. You're naturally designed to live through that trial and error process, so find a way to feel powerful as you do it and see it as fun, interesting, and playful. Know that failing at it doesn't make you bad, or say anything about you personally, really. It just means that you're unafraid to try things where most are not. You're designed to be brave. And when the 1 and the 3 come together, it might seem counterintuitive to be both a knowledge seeker and an experimenter. The key to blending these two parts of you is remembering that truth evolves as you evolve, and it will evolve a lot for you as you have a natural tendency towards being a spiritual seeker. As you move through life and discover new things, you'll establish new truths, so don't be afraid to keep moving on from things that you previously believed. This is just you going higher and higher in your perspective and viewpoints. You're someone who's constantly meant to be evolving your definition of the truth, so keep letting go and moving with the changes that life is nudging you towards. During your trial and error process, you'll seek out other authorities that help you make sense of it all, or of your journey. This is a healthy thing for you to do. You can use them to help you understand your process. But at the same time, you also have to feel like you discovered those things for yourself through your own experience. This is a very important part to you living your purpose. So it's a balance of gathering intel, but then also testing and trialing it out to see if it passes your test. You're a naturally skeptical person with a healthy dose of questioning, which helps you preserve the fact that you're meant to discover things on your own, but also you can't be lied to as you have a nose for the truth. Eventually, of course, you're meant to become an authority yourself, but you tend not to like attention until you feel qualified enough. Do remember that qualified enough is not a destination. You'll always have things you'll be qualified enough to speak about, and there will also always be more to discover and learn. So don't hold off feeling like you have something to contribute before you reach this non-existent state of completely qualified. You are the person who knows their shit in a way we can truly trust because you've actually tried it all out and filtered it through your own excellent high standards. Your strategy is the way you make things happen in your life, how you go about making your dream life real, how you manifest. The world has taught us that we have to push and force things to happen, but you have a unique way of drawing your dreams to you that will feel much more easeful and fun. Plus, it will actually get you so much quicker results when you do it because you're doing it in the way that you're meant to be doing it. Your strategy is responding. The universe is constantly sending you clues and signs of what to do based on what excites you, gives you that full body yes, and what doesn't. Responding is about only doing things that come across your path that you can literally feel that full body yes to. When something is meant for you, your gut will literally respond to it. You will feel physically drawn to that thing. Think of life as one big buffet. It's full of ideas and suggestions and options that might please you. Responding is noticing all the things you see and come across that make you think, I like that, or I want that, or I wish I could have that. And if you do like it and want it, say yes to it. Go do it, create it for yourself, bring more of it into your life, because doing it is what the universe wants you to do next. These could be direct, like opportunities and invites that come your way, or indirect, like things you see around you, things you see other people doing, what you see on social media, characters on TV shows. They're all there on purpose to lead you right to your purpose. The answers are all around you. You don't have to figure out what you want. It's the outside world that will give you the clues of what you're into and not, based on how you respond to it. You're not meant to just know what you want out of thin air. You have to have an outside stimulus to respond to. You don't have to push, force, or make it happen. You just have to fully throw your energy into the things that your gut responds to and not do the things that don't. And when you're open, the universe will put the things that are meant for you right in front of your eyes. The key to your dream life is not only saying yes to things that light you up, but also saying no to things that don't. When you say no to the things that don't, you actually create more space for the potential yeses to come in. Your decisions are black and white. It's important for you to know that your gut is black and white. It doesn't do gray area. So for you, you're either excited about it or you're not. Unless you feel a full body yes, the answer is actually no. You do not deal in maybes. Because the gut is black and white, it also doesn't deal in open-ended questions. So if you've asked yourself before, what lights me up? Don't be surprised if your gut hasn't come up with the answer. But if you ask yourself, does forecasting light me up? Does event planning light me up? Does organization light me up? You'll definitely know the answer to that. You can use the this or that, yes or no questions to direct you with anything in life, whether big or small. So instead of asking yourself what takeout you feel for dinner tonight, ask yourself if you want sushi or Mexican. The more you can make sure that everything in your life is there because it gives you that hell yes response, the more aligned you become. The universe makes you respond yes to the things it wants you to do. The universe doesn't see the difference between you saying yes to the takeout that lights you up and yes to the job that lights you up. Following your lit upness will always create more lit upness. What to do when it feels like life isn't sending you things to respond to. Take a look around your life and ask if each thing in it lights you up or not. If it doesn't, start by just being honest with yourself about it, as that will align you to the truth of how you feel. And from there, the universe is clear on your feelings, so it can swoop in and start to help you by putting new opportunities and clues on your path. The more you get rid of around you that doesn't light you up, the more space you will have to notice things that might. It's like you give yourself a bigger pair of glasses with which to see. And then start to look around at whatever else is going on in the world around you and keep asking your gut, would this be exciting to you if you had it? And then pursue those wants. Put energy into bringing them into your own life. If you get a hell yes, you have full permission to funnel all your life force into it. Always trust the feeling of wanting as a good thing because it's pointing you right towards the life you're supposed to have. Your sign is the feeling you have when you're living your design. It's a no-fail way that the universe can signal to you that you're on the right track. When you're using your energy correctly, you will always feel your sign come up in your life. So you never have to do any guesswork to know whether you're in alignment or not. Your sign will be there to show you. Your sign is satisfaction. Satisfaction is feeling lit up by life. This is that feeling you get when you're living a full life, one where each day is filled with things that please you, big and small, that you have consciously chosen. Like your perfect coffee in the morning, the buzz in your work life, a warm cuddle with your loved ones, the tennis game that makes you feel alive, and the good kind of crazy days that make you feel invigorated. When you string these moments together where you feel so content in each, you get to the end of your day and you can't help but let out like a good kind of satisfied sigh. One that means you've used your energy up in a good way today. It brought back some awesome returns and you're fully ready to check out, hit the pillow, and be so psyched to do it all over again tomorrow. The not self is the feeling we get whenever we're not living our design. Life gives you this not self feeling so that you can always tell when you're getting off track, so that you can then redirect quickly back to using your energy the way that you're meant to. Your not self is frustration. If you're living your design, saying yes to things that light you up and no to the things that don't, you create a steady flow of excitement in your life, which then magnetizes people and opportunities to you. The opposite of energy flowing is energy stagnating. This creates a feeling of being stuck and not being able to move forward in things even if you try. This is the true definition of frustration, attempting or reaching for something but it not happening. Frustration can show up as literal frustration or irritation, feeling stuck, feeling uninspired, blah, or incapable. This is always a sign showing you that you have the power to change your situation by changing one of your thoughts or behaviors around this situation. Here's how frustration can look in your thoughts. Nothing is happening. This is not going the way I want. I'm so bored. I'm so over this. I'm being made or forced to do this, but I don't want to. Thinking, I have all these obligations and maybe they're starting to weigh heavy on me. I want to shake them off and be free. I feel like I'm having the life sucked out of me. I'm feeling pulled in all these different directions. It seems like everyone else is doing what they love, but nothing is coming to me, or I can't seem to do that. I should be able to create happiness, but I just can't. I have no energy to do what I dream of. What's the point of all of this? Why does it feel like I'm walking through mud and taking so much effort to get things going? Or simply, I'm just so tired. Remember that this is not your true self. This is your not self, aka life showing you that it's time to live your design a little bit more, which will get you right back into your sign, which is satisfaction. You are here to be lit up and excited by life. This is your real nature, and whenever you see your not self, you can always rise higher into the life you really want to have by turning it around. Non-specific manifesting. Manifesting refers to your way of bringing things you want into your reality. You're designed to manifest in a non-specific way, which is a method that's very new to the world. Traditionally, we tell people to get clear on exactly what they want, down to a T, to make vision boards or to write lists. This style is very much about the person and what the person wants. We get told, if you don't know what you want, you'll never get it. But this is not true for you. You can and are meant to have beautiful things happen in your life without you having asked for them or wanted them specifically. Your work is to have a general idea of what you like and then to stay open to how the universe will fill in the details of that manifestation, because they're so much greater than what you could even imagine yourself. So when we say a general idea, let's say you want a career as a journalist. You don't have to know which magazine is your ideal one. You'll be guided to the right one when you leave it to the universe. You just have to point it in the right direction by knowing the essence of what you want. The feeling is more important than the details. So in manifesting that career in journalism, you just have to be clear that you want to work in a place that enables you to feel valued, allows you to write things you want, be filled with people that inspire you, etc., whatever that is. You're getting clear on the core essence of the thing you want rather than worrying about how it has to look. Sure, you can manifest specific things, but have you ever worked to get something you thought you really wanted, but it didn't make you feel how you hoped it would make you feel when you got it? This is just a reminder to focus on the feeling and let the universe send you the exact thing that will make you feel that way. Resist the world pressuring you to have your vision all planned out. A lot of non-specifics get pulled out of their natural way of doing things because we live in a world that is always asking us to describe and quantify where we're heading. But you're not supposed to know. You're not meant to have the 5-year plan. The only thing you ever have to do is have the general idea, the general feeling. For you, whenever you get very set on something turning out in a specific way, it's like putting blinders on, which narrows down what can come to you and may shut down the most ideal outcome from coming to you. You're not meant to know what you want in such a detailed and specific way. It's a practice in letting go of control when it comes to your dreams and really understanding that you're not totally in charge. You create your dreams with the universe. You just have to get in touch with what your soul really truly wants. And then instead of trying to figure out how it will unfold, stay open to being surprised and delighted. Every human lifetime has a different theme. Your life theme describes the main energy you're meant to bring into everything you do. It's called a theme because it's meant to run through all the areas of your life. The same mix of skills and essence will bring you success and alignment, whether you're at home, with friends, at work, in the grocery store. When you live according to your life theme, that's when you know you're on the road to your purpose. So as far as the universe is concerned, your purpose isn't just achieved at work. The universe doesn't compartmentalize like that. It wants to see you sharing your specific essence everywhere you go. When you bring your essence to the table, you signal to the universe and to people around you that you're being who you're meant to be. This is when people gravitate towards you the most, when opportunities and synchronicities flood to you, because you're simply being the person you came here to be. So all the good things that are meant for you finally fit. Let's get into the theme of your life. The right angle cross of explanation 4. To share and explain your individual genius insights with people with clarity and simplicity. You see things in a way that's way ahead of the way other people see them, and you have the gift of explaining those lofty concepts in crystal clear ways so that they're easy to grasp. You're here to share these insights so that you herald in more evolved ways of seeing life into this world. Specifically, there are certain subjects that you're fascinated by and see so clearly. These are the ones you're meant to focus on. You have a strong passion for helping change society for the better, and people are attracted to your work even more when you show that altruistic side of you. They can sense that you're helping to bring in a new world, and those who are ready for it will flock right to you. You have what we call a hot food digestion in human design. You have a cool body temperature, so warming foods are optimal for you as they help bring balance and the right amount of stimulation to rev your system up. This turns on your brain and body for optimal functioning, and when you're in that state, you can drop into your genius much more easily. Your foods. Ideally, everything you eat should be body temperature and above. So there's a reason why, for example, you could have tried those healthy smoothies made from frozen fruits and veggies and not felt your best. Maybe you don't ever feel satiated with too much cold food, or you can't think properly, or your hormones and your weight are off. This is your body telling you that there's a better way. If you want a salad, top it with something warm like cooked veggies or some sizzled potatoes, or pair it with a warming drink. If you really love those smoothies, just make them out of fresh produce instead of frozen, and include warmer meals for the rest of the day. Spice is another good thing to incorporate into your meals, so you could add chili flakes or cayenne pepper to help with your digestion. More warmth in your life. From an energetic perspective, it's also good to practice being more warm and creating warmth literally and figuratively around you. So turn the stove or the heating on in your home, make it nice and cozy. And in yourself, notice the times when things happen that take you out of your warm nature and try to soften into them. This will aid your digestion greatly. It's probably happened to you before when you feel your digestion totally thrown off, when you're not feeling warm and loving for whatever reasons. And so in times when you do feel that way, try to bring yourself into a more relaxed, easy state before eating again. Saunas, sunlight, hot baths, and fireplaces are also great for your system and great for your brain. If you need to think more clearly or use your mind for a long time, give it a hit of heat. Eating patterns. Your brain is very active, so it uses up a lot of your daily calorie intake. If you want to fast, for example, be sure to not undereat, only because if you do, that will hinder the development of your genius for that day, because your brain is going to be the first place that suffers from the undereating. You also do well eating consistently, meaning that your food regime should look kind of the same or similar from one day to the next. So for example, you might decide that a fruit-based breakfast works well for you. Aim to do that every morning and around the same kind of time. Consistency for you actually eliminates stress and overthinking. So when you automate things into a routine, it gives you freedom for your brain to focus on the things that actually move your life forward. Your strongest sense in human design is smell, which means you have the gift of discernment that you're here to bring. Of all the 6 senses, each one of us has one that's dominant. It's a sense that when heightened makes you feel most alive. It's kind of like your love language with the world. Each sense has its own language, and when you speak your language, people receive your gifts the most deeply. It makes whatever you do more effective and valuable. You also absorb information from the outside world the best when you're taking it in through that sense. With your gifts. Energetically, the nose represents fine and accurate judgment. You're here to sniff things out, follow the scent, smell a rat from a mile away. Being on the nose also means that you strive for accuracy and precision. Your incredible discernment is that main thing that will help you develop your gifts, so try to be constantly developing it. You can sense when something is off. You like to sniff out the truth and separate the flowers from the weeds. No matter what area of life you do this, people are looking for you to keep refining your discernment and pour that into whatever you do. You need to have a totally clear nose, literally and figuratively, in order to have the most clear insights. So anything that makes your nose blocked or stuffy will literally be stopping you from being in your genius. You won't be able to hit the nail on the head in the way that you have the ability to. Pay attention to what foods, substances, and fragrances clog you up. Feeling like you can breathe big and open breaths creates a clear channel for you to be in your brilliance. You know that face we make sometimes when we scrunch up our nose when we don't like something? That's the energy you'll feel when you encounter something that's not right, for you or for an outside situation. Don't be afraid to be a bit picky. You're not meant to just accept and like everything. Remember, people will be coming to you to tell them what's good, what's right, what's helpful, what's relevant and true. In your personal life. Because clarity is so important to you, in relationships you hate being lied to or things being hidden from you. Clarity and honesty is extra important, and discussing interesting topics with others, where you get to refine what you think about things, whether good or bad, right or wrong, is fun for you. It's actually good for you to get involved in healthy debate, healthy disagreement, and to soak up many different viewpoints because it helps you refine your own. You love people who are engaged in the world and expressing their viewpoints because it helps you get into your zone of genius. Setting up your life. Try to create a practice of deep breathing, whether that's formal like a breathwork ritual or just reminding yourself through the day to breathe deeply. Doing this is like an energetic tune-up for you. Also, create scents that make you feel good. Surround yourself by candles, burn essential oils or sage. Wear a scent that makes you feel like you. Try and cut out products containing the ingredient fragrance from your home, as it messes with your natural nose. Every scent sets a different tone, so you can use scent to prime your brain for whatever you need to do, to get focused, to relax, to wake up, to wind down, whatever it is. With food. Smell prepares your body to digest the food. This is a mechanism that's deeply connected to survival because our ancestors could tell if something was okay to eat based on how it smelled. You can tell when something is going to be right for your body based on if you like how it smells. So when you cook, make sure the aromas come through. When grocery shopping, buy loose produce without the packaging on if possible so you can smell it. When you look at a dish, it's easy for you to imagine what it smells like, which makes it easier for you to get what it's going to taste like. So don't be afraid to check out what other people are eating in a restaurant to help you figure out what you want. We live in a world that is so full of information and options that actually the challenge we face is knowing what to include in our lives and what to leave out. With smell as your strongest sense, you are primed to help us discern and sort the truth from the non-truth, the pure from the corrupt, the helpful from the unhelpful in this world, in the specific areas of life you love. We need you to help us sniff out the truth. How your emotions function. You're what we call a non-emotional in human design. Being non-emotional means that your natural state is cool, calm, and collected. You only feel things when something is happening around you that makes you feel a certain way. You might think, well, isn't this the case for everyone? And the answer is no. 50% of the population live their lives on highs and lows that have nothing to do with what's actually going on in the world around them. It's like their background emotional setting goes up and down, where yours is steady. Non-emotionals are experts at picking up on what others are feeling. Because you don't have background emotions of your own, and because you are naturally supposed to be a calm lake, you can easily sense emotional ripples from the outside world. Let's say someone walks into the room and they are sad at a level 2 out of 10. You'll easily pick up on this and it will feel like a 6 to you because it's such a contrast to your normal state. Ideally, you want to use this as your spidey sense because picking up on other people's emotions can give you so much information, make you so tuned into the situation, and make you empathetic. You want to tune into what you're picking up on without taking it on yourself or letting it sway your own calmness. But often, non-emotionals either pick up on everything and take it on themselves, or they shut themselves off from even picking up any emotions in the first place. So, you either get called too emotional or not emotional enough. When a non-emotional is overly attached to feelings that come over them from the outside world, they mistake those feelings as being their own and end up coming across as very emotional themselves. So many non-emotionals get called emotional by other people in their life because they're simply reflecting and magnifying everything that they're picking up on. The trick is to detach yourself from what you pick up on. There's always a reason why you might feel what you feel. So when you feel thrown off your calm center, ask, where or who did I pick this up from? This helps you use what you're picking up on to become wise about what's going on in the world around you, whilst also creating some space between you and the emotion. Remember, you are not the emotion. In contrast, when a non-emotional has been taught to totally disconnect from feelings, it can make them feel very stoic and unemotional. To be clear, non-emotionals still have emotions, so it's important that they recognize those, and important that they tune into the emotions of others because it contains important information that's meant to make them wiser about life and about people. As a non-emotional, you can read people's states very well. Don't shut that gift off by believing that feeling is weak or bad. Sensing other people's emotions is a useful skill. When you're able to clearly read other people's states, you know when is a good time to be around them or not, say something or not, bring up the thing you wanted to say or not. You can also help them become more aware of how they're feeling. Remember that if someone is feeling that 2 out of 10 anger, they might not even be aware of it, whereas when you sense it in a 6 out of 10 way, you can be their mirror. Tuning into other people allows you to navigate relationships with those people in a much wiser way. Just to explain the contrast, emotionals often have poor visibility on how they're feeling, let alone how others are feeling, because they're so mired in their own feelings. It's often difficult to step out of them. They need non-emotionals like you to show them and help them navigate. Clarity is in the now. Since you are that clear lake, it's very easy for you to see things as they are. However, 50% of the world is emotional, meaning that their vision can be colored by the mood they're in, so they can't always see so objectively. With all the emotionals in your life, remember that they won't have clarity in the now moment. It's only when they've settled into a relatively neutral mood that they can see things as they are. So just remember that it takes them more time to be clear on their thoughts and feelings, even though it's easy for you. Emptying out. You're a sonar, picking up on so many things over the course of the day. In order to use this non-emotional gift properly, you need to be aware of all the signals you've absorbed from others over the course of the day so that you can flush them out and stay that clear sonar, unencumbered by emotional interference from the outside world. Whenever you feel thrown into some emotion or reaction, whenever you get frustrated or down or overly swept up in any emotion, whether high or low, remind yourself that it's just what you're experiencing because of your circumstances. It's not you. You're either picking up on other people's emotions, in which case they're not yours to hold on to, or you're feeling a certain way because a life situation has made you feel that, and that's completely normal. Either way, there's no need to attach yourself to those emotions so deeply. Create this separation in your mind of you and the feelings so that everything you pick up on doesn't stick around and continue to affect you. Let it wash over you and leave just as quickly as it came so that you can always return easily to your natural state without any extra stuff. We call this emptying out.